What's going on, my brothers and sisters around the world? It's your boy Terrell Humphrey, Bullets T, Failureisknowledge, Bullets T, and Terrell Humphrey. And for episode 14, I'm telling you, it's gonna be something crazy. Because I got my brother David Santiago, former Marine, currently an entrepreneur. Listen, the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit. David, what it do, brother?
Absolutely. Terrell, what's good, my brother?
Man, I can't call it, man. How was your week?
It was good. It was productive, man. Hustling always. Hustlers always.
Mhm.
Man, how about you?
Man, I can't sing. Hustling and grinding and hustling.
Yeah, well, first and foremost, I appreciate you inviting me on to your platform, man. I
Mhm.
love what you're doing. Again, like you said, we're both Marines, so I love to see another Marine, jumping on and doing his thing, doing great things.
Yes, sir. Well, first, man, I appreciate you for coming on. Please introduce yourself. Let the people know who you are, what you do, where you from.
All right. So my name is David Santiago. I am originally from the South Bronx, New York, but now that the chips are right, I took that and ran up north into the beautiful country of Carmel, New York. By trade, I am a scalp micropigmentation artist. So essentially, what I do is a non-surgical hair loss restoration procedure where I take micro needles and pigment and I make impressions onto the scalp, replicating hair follicles. I'm also the owner of Sandport Group, which is a transportation and logistic company, 18 wheelers. We do transportation. Also the co-owner of Sandport Logistics, which is also involved in the transportation industry. I'm also a co-owner of a teeth whitening business. I also own Scalp Solutions grooming products, and I am also the host of the Scalp Solutions podcast. And that's it for right now.
Man, you do a lot. That's amazing. Cause like, did you see yourself doing everything that you're doing right now when you was in the military?
Absolutely not. When I was in the Marines, I was just set on doing my 20 years. I was gonna get out, and it was my mindset was so poor, man. It was like, I'm gonna do my 20 years, I'm gonna take my pension, and I'm gonna find the state that has the cheapest quality of life, and I'm just gonna retire there. And at the time I was 19, so I wasn't thinking like, you know what, that Marine Corps pension at the end of the day, it ain't doing nothing. It might pay my car note, a
Mhm.
couple of the house bills, but it's not gonna give me the comfortable life that I thought I was. But to answer your question, I had absolutely no idea that I'd be the David Santiago of today when I got into the Marine Corps.
Mm. So at what age did your mind shift from like, man, I want more? What my current lifestyle that I'm living, it ain't the lifestyle that I see myself in the future. I don't know what I'm gonna be doing, but I know it ain't this. What age did you realize that? Did you have that mindset switch?
When I was 17, I knew I needed to find something to remove me from
Hmm.
the environment that I was in because I was already
Hmm.
a knucklehead.
Hmm.
I was hanging out with the wrong people, and I don't even like to say that I did the wrong people because some of them are still my friends now. It's just, I was 17, so you do dumb shit when
Hmm.
you're 17, and you got my friends were very like, yo, let's do this, let's do that. So at 17, I was kind of like, you know what, man, something's gotta change. And I was like, you know what, maybe let me focus a little more. Let me try college. So I
Hmm.
really started like hitting, my senior year in high school. I started, it was like, you know what, I'm gonna go to college. I did a year of college, and I still felt like I needed more. And what I mean by more was like I just needed to be separated from my environment as a whole. I was like, I need some structure. I definitely knew I needed some discipline. And I was like, you know what, man? I always wanted to be a Marine.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what? Let me start exploring that now while I'm in my first year of college, see what they could do for me. And at 19, after I finished my first full year of college, I knew I was like, I gotta leave because I was just ignorant and I was still doing dumb, I was still doing dumb shit. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if I can curse. I'm sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was very ignorant. And I told my recruiter, I was like, I need to leave ASAP if I'm gonna do this. So he told me this was in June 2001.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, we could get you out of here by October 25th. I was like, absolutely not. I won't go. And I tell you what, I was in the debt program for 1 week. 1 week. 1 week. I
Mm.
swore in. A week later, I was gone. I was in
Mm-hmm.
Paris Island, baby, on them yellow footsteps. So I say at 17, I started noticing I needed to
Mm-hmm.
do better. At 19, I started taking action, and my first course was joining the military to get some structure and some discipline.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Okay.
yeah, that was pretty much that's what kickstarted, everything else.
Okay. And it's crazy that you say that because you said something about like trying to get more. It's wait, you said something about wanting more out of life, meaning that when you start to realize that you start to grow just a little bit, and that's what the topic is all about. The phase of growing is a lot. So when do you think it's time to grow mentally? Mentally.
Oof. Man, I don't think there's uh there's a set age, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
think what society does, I'm not saying what society does, what society tells us
Mm-hmm.
is that by a certain age, you should have your shit together. And I think that just creates more anxiety and stress on the individual, right? Whether it be a
Mm-hmm.
man woman, in the individual, right? So like they'll tell you, what, 22, 23 years old, you need to get your shit situated. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm like proof of that because I say like I got my head out my butt when I
Mm-hmm.
was 35. Like I was all filled with ideas, but I wasn't a doer. And at 35, here I am, now I'm making it happen. I'm 39 now, I'll be 40 in 2 months. And what I've accomplished in 5 years is absolutely insane. So like to answer your question, I don't think it's an age appropriate
Mm-hmm.
thing. So it's not like, hey, by 21, you're considered an adult. You need to start getting your stuff together. I think when you realize that your life experience has brought you to absolutely nothing, and you're sitting there and you like, yo, what have I done with my life? As soon as you have that very first conversation with yourself, that should be your aha, like, oh, hold up. I'm not I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing
Mm-hmm.
enough with my life, with my with the, whatever opportunities I have. So now it's time for me. Like I really gotta get on the ball. So like I don't think it's an age thing. I think it's just everybody has that moment when they'll sit down and they're just like, damn man, like what am I gonna do with myself, man? Like I can't be like this. As soon as you have that conversation, that's it. You need to hit that. You need to hit that road at 120 miles per hour.
That's crazy that you said it. Let me tell you why I asked you that question in that particular way. Because like you said, it's not an age limit. I didn't want you to say at this age I did this and I figured this out. Because in all actuality, it doesn't matter how old you are. It's all about your mindset and
Yeah.
when you actually decide, like, listen, what I'm at right now, I don't like it. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I know there's more.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why I asked you that particular question to see like when exactly did your mind switch? Not the age, but the mindset time. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like I said, a lot of people like to really there's no age limit to when it's go time. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
let's think about, I don't want to beat this question crazy, but let's think about what's this? Ray Kroc. You know who's Ray Kroc?
No, I do not. I do not.
Do you know McDonald's?
I do.
He's the man responsible for the McDonald's that we now know today. All
Yes, I
right.
have. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This dude was 53 years old selling ice cream machines from door to door at
Mm-hmm.
53 years old. Like, my man was hustling. All right. 53, he's knocking on doors telling you, hey, this is whatever the VM34 does this speed, et cetera, et cetera. I'll tell you what, me at 39, I couldn't do
Mm-hmm.
that job. And I know you at 22, you're like, hell no, I wouldn't be able to hold the job like that. My man was 53 years old when that light bulb went off on his head and he started McDonald's. So now, could you imagine going back in time and having a conversation with this dude and telling him, yo, it's too late. You 53 years old? Like, you can't put an age on when it's your turn to
Mm-hmm.
be successful. And because of that, when I was 35, I was like, you know what? I'm still young, man. Like, I'm still a horse. Like, put me in. So yeah, there's no whoever's listening, listen. If anybody's telling you 23, you 43, and you haven't done nothing with yourself, it's too late. That's BS. Now turn
Mm.
it around, go out there and do something, and come back in 2 years and show them the beast that you are, the beast that
Mm.
you became.
Do you hear me? Oh, actually, I did like I do know who that is. I forgot the name. So when you got to telling the story, I'm like, yeah, okay, because I seen the struggle that he went through, and you
Yeah,
know how relentless you have to be to do that at 53.
that's a lot of pride
Mm-hmm.
that you have to
Mm-hmm.
swallow,
Mm-hmm.
especially if you're doing it now. Like, there's a lot of people that are just starting right now and they're in their 40s and 50s. And when you look at, you got some kids that are 18, 19 years old, they're already multimillionaires. Like that's what you up against right now. 18,
Mm-hmm.
19-year-old millionaires that will run laps around you.
Mm-hmm. And I'm trying to get in contact with them. I'm trying to network with none. It ain't about competition no more. Nah, it's about collaboration and see if we can build with each other. You at a
Absolutely.
level that I'm trying to get to. All right, so now I'm about to ask questions. All right, so listen, I'm trying to get the level that you at. What
Yeah,
advice can you give me? But
yeah.
it ain't gonna be no typical question like what advice can you give me? Nah. I want to know everything. I want to know everything. You see
You
what I'm saying?
you want skirt up. I want to
Do
see
you hear me?
skirt. I want to see what's under that skirt.
Do you hear me? So
And how'd you do it? I want to
Mhm.
do.
Exactly. So at the age of 35, right? When you was 35, when did you come up with this idea that I want to be an entrepreneur and the route that I want to go is going to be something different that I ain't never seen before?
So I've been cutting hair. I've been cutting hair since I was 15.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't understand what I had, like what those skills could really do for me
Mm-hmm.
until I went into the Marine Corps.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can appreciate this. Who wants to walk around with a messed up haircut in the Marine? First of all, no man wants to walk around with a jacked up haircut. But now you get into the Marine Corps and you on base and they giving you these high and tights, and you like, whoa, hold up, man. Like, damn,
Mm-hmm.
fix my joint or something. And what I started learning was like when people found out that I could cut hair and they started coming into my barracks room, and now you got lines out the door. And now on top of that, you got the CEO, you got the XO who's like, hey, Bronx, because that's what they would call, hey, Bronx, I heard you cut hair. So like I was like, oh man, hold on a minute. Like, I enjoyed it, one,
Mm-hmm.
which is a plus, because you have to enjoy what you're doing. If not,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna just feel like a job. So I was kind of like, yo, when I get out the Marine Corps, I think I'm gonna open a barbershop because I can make a killing and it's cash. And I actually enjoy this and everything, that the culture brought forward with it, for
Mm-hmm.
barbering. So I would say like at 21 is when I really started getting I say like that entrepreneurial bug
Mm-hmm.
bit me, but I didn't take action because I was just ignorant and I didn't know any better, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So at the age of 21, I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur.
Mm-hmm.
At the age of 34, going into 35, I knew I spent way too much time thinking and not doing.
Mm.
Yeah.
What was you afraid of?
Failure, failure, and not, I didn't have, there was no there, and there still wasn't any entrepreneurs in my family. So
Mm-hmm.
like there was no one for me to look to and ask these questions like, hey, this is what's in my mind. How do I attack this? This 101 stuff. And it's like, yeah, you could go online and you can read how to start a business and all that, but nothing tells you how to really get over that fear. And the thing about fear is they we're introduced to fear to be actually afraid of it and not want it.
Mm,
Now, as a successful entrepreneur, I understand that you need fear because at the end of the day, it's a lesson. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
So what I was scared of was failure.
Mm-hmm.
What I look forward to now is failure because now I got that out. I get it out the way. Now I know
Mm,
what I don't have to do and what I do
mm-hmm.
have to do for my next move.
Mm-hmm.
So ultimately, that's what stopped me was fear of failing because it was like I didn't know how would I get back off? How am I going to
Mm-hmm.
get back up on my feet? So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to invest all my money and
Mm-hmm.
lose. So I became complacent and I was like, this is what I'm going to do. I stick to the 9 to 5, live within my means
Mm-hmm.
and get my pension and live my average life.
Mm-hmm. So earlier you just said that you didn't have nobody, no example to look up to. So let me ask you this: did you grow up with a single parent in the household?
I did, yeah, just me and my mother.
Mm, okay. So the reason why I asked you that particular question, because we all have the same story. Well, majority of us had the same story. Single parent mom didn't have no father figure in the house, or we're all coming up the same way. But just like you said, fear can stop a lot of people.
For
And
sure.
with fear, what it does, what it needs to do is give you a push to keep going, keep going, keep going. All right, just because I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, I'm just gonna do it anyways. I'm just gonna do it anyways, and that's what the brand is basically based upon. Failure is knowledge. You have to
Absolutely.
fail in order to succeed, and once you're failing, you're actually building up the courage to fail.
Absolutely. 100%. It's just crazy because, like I said, the way it's put to us, and I kind of want to put that on. I don't want to say it's our parents. I kind of want to say
Hmm.
it's the educational system.
Hmm.
'Cause the educational system teaches us, like, hey, this is how you do something. This is the
Hmm.
only way you do something. And if you don't do it right and you fail, guess what happens? It's gonna reflect on your report card. And when you bring home a bad report card, what happens? Mom Duke's getting that ass, right? Or you don't pass, or you don't graduate, or you don't
Hmm.
have good, is that failure, that fear of failure, because it's directly associated with something bad.
Hmm.
Instead, what they should teach us is, hey, you should be a free thinker. There's multiple
Hmm.
ways to come up with an answer for this or to solve this scenario.
Hmm.
No such thing as failure. There's only lessons to be learned.
Hmm.
I mean, if you start us at a very young age, developing that kind of capacity,
Hmm.
by the time you in high school, you're just ready. You probably won't even be thinking about college because you already know what the hell you want to do. You already got a drop shipping company going on. You're already involved in transportation. The last thing you're worrying about is college. I'm not saying that college is not important. I'm
Hmm.
just saying, like, you'll skip out on a lot of other things because now as an entrepreneur, like, that's a whole other world. That's a whole other planet.
Hmm. A
So
hundred
yeah,
percent.
I
Oh, my
think
bad. Go ahead.
Alright. So like I said, I think it starts off with the educational system, with them teaching us that, you know, failure is a bad thing. Like, we don't want,
Hmm.
because that's how our parents came up. Because when
Hmm.
our parents came up, all you had to do was graduate high school and they thought you were successful, at least mine.
Hmm.
So what do what do you know?
Mm-hmm. Man, I completely agree. You over here dropping bars, man. Ooh, you over here dropping bars. And so let me ask you this: what's been your biggest failure over the time that you acquired all these businesses? What's been your biggest failure or your biggest lesson? Let's say that.
My biggest lesson is I should have never, ever, ever doubted myself.
Mm,
Ever doubted myself. I should have never, ever doubted myself. I should have rolled the dice because in the past 5 years, I've proven to myself the the beast
mm-hmm.
I am, that I'm able to tap into and just transform into. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't think that that's something that was that's a newly found.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That beast been in me for years. It's just I wasn't laser focused. You know what I mean? I was ignorant.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had to get educated a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
become a little more, financially astute. So yeah, that would be my biggest. That's what you said, right? What was my biggest failure?
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Doubt-
Biggest
Doubting,
lesson or failure.
doubting myself. Doubting
Mm,
myself. Biggest failure. I doubted myself for so many years. It's like this is
mm,
a great idea. Nah, I'm not gonna be able to do that.
mm. At
Yeah,
what year? I know you've been an entrepreneur for 5 years. Did you stop doubting yourself at 21 or at 35 when you actually start taking the leap
I
of
was
faith?
I was 34 years old, and I remember I was on my couch watching TV,
Mm-hmm.
and I was at the time I was already just YouTubing a whole bunch of stuff like business ideas and just like financial literacy because I
Mm-hmm.
started preparing myself because I was like, yo, I'm about to be crazy rich, and I need to know how the hell to manage this money. Like this is what I was telling myself, right? And at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, watching these videos about like the laws of attraction. Whatever you
Mm-hmm.
put out to the universe is gonna happen. So now I'm like, yeah, now I'm definitely gonna watch these videos because I'm about to be rich. Um, and I'm like 34 years old, and I'm sitting on the couch, and I remember going like, yo, why I can't sleep at night? And why haven't I been able to sleep at night for like 5 years? Because every time I wake up, I have ideas.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was like, listen, man, this shit got to be happening for a reason, bro. And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what? I think God's been trying to talk to me for so long, and I just been so ignorant and not did anything with this. Let me start writing some of this stuff down.
Mm.
Man, listen, once I started writing stuff down and like looking at it and seeing how
Mm-hmm.
nice it looks and like developing the visual,
Mm-hmm.
and then I was like, you know what? Let me take a couple of $1,000, a couple grand out, and just let me do this for myself. The worst that can happen is I fail, but at least I get to say that I tried
Mm-hmm.
and I did it, and I'll never regret. I don't regret. I will never ever regret, you know, it going down like that. I don't even regret, even though I said, the fear of failure, like I
Mm-hmm.
don't regret the way things turned out because I feel like this was the way it was destined uh to be. I don't think what I got going on right now, I genuinely don't think I would have been able to handle it at 25 or 30 years old. I needed some more experience. I needed to go through some more, some more life sorry about that. I needed to
No,
go
you
through some
good.
more life things
Mm-hmm.
before, I could have handled what I got in front of me right now.
That's incredible. That man, that's incredible. So let me ask you this: so all your businesses that you have, are they evolved around here?
No, not at all.
Mm.
Only one, which is
Okay.
Scalp Solutions. Actually,
Mm-hmm.
two Scalp Solutions, and then I got Scalp Solutions Grooming, which is men's grooming products. So we got shampoo, conditioning, hair growth serum. I
Mm-hmm.
have aftercare products for the actual procedure, the scalp micropigmentation procedure.
Mm-hmm.
Um, those two are one and the same. Everything else, is the transportation. So you got the trucks, right? The big 18 wheelers,
Mm-hmm.
and you got the dispatching company. With the dispatching company is kind of like um what's a good so you know it's like air traffic and control for
Mhm.
airplanes,
Mhm.
but for trucks.
Mhm.
So these are the people that go and they find the loads for you and make sure that the country's moving, you
Mhm.
know. So that's two in the same, but
Mhm.
has nothing to do with hair. And then you know you got the laser teeth whitening.
Mhm.
And then you know, actually the podcast is around essentially around like hair, but more so the procedure, the scalp micropigmentation.
So.
What hair did for me was gave me the money to open up the doors and fund everything else that I knew I wanted to do.
Mm.
Yeah.
And the reason why I asked you that one particular question that particular way is because I just figured out my passion. And because like I always ask things that I always want to have an understanding of. So the reason why, like, I just found my passion like 2 days ago, and
What's
what
that?
it is, podcasting. Because what I was trying to do, I was trying to do real estate. Real estate is a good industry. I'm not gonna leave real estate alone, but
Right.
I'm keep doing it. But I'm gonna perfect podcasting and actually like understand the concepts of like everything that goes within this, just so like it can fund what I want to do, just like you did.
Absolutely. And listen, even that with real estate, I mean, at the end of the day, podcasting is great. I do it. I love
Hmm.
it. I never thought I'd love it. Like I genuinely enjoy it. But
Hmm.
we living in a time that you can't just have one source of income.
Mm-mm.
You got to have multiple sources of income. So if you have knowledge and education on real
Hmm.
estate, and once you start monetizing your podcast and you take that money and you don't recycle it into what you know about real estate, you might as well just take the gun and shoot yourself in the foot right now, Playboy, because don't just because you love podcasting, don't forget about like the information, the knowledge that you have on real estate. Like you
Hmm.
gotta apply that.
Hmm.
'Cause
Yeah. Oh,
you don't have to
listen.
love real estate, but you can love the money you make from real
A
estate.
hundred, 100%. Listen, I'm not gonna stop doing it. No, 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 no. That's not what I was saying. What I am saying, I'm gonna focus on podcasting right now, then have it venture off to like different things to where it's like you did. Like you have different businesses and different industries to where you're creating multiple streams of income. But all that came from you cutting hair.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Everything started with the clippers and the trimmer, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Everything
Mm-hmm.
even to the name, even to having the name and having my name, having the name trademarked, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, the different opportunities and the offers that I've been, you know, made for that has been
Mm-hmm.
crazy. It's just all started with hair. Nothing that
Mm-hmm.
when I started cutting hair, here's what's crazy, right? And I'll tell you, when I started cutting hair, I didn't start cutting hair because I wanted to make money or I wanted to be a barber.
Mm-hmm.
I started cutting hair because we were poor and my mom didn't have the $7 that it cost to get a haircut.
Mm-hmm.
So she would cut my own hair and she would, man, she would zinc my joint up. So when I was like 12 or 13, you know, I'm in that phase and I'm like, you know, now I'm into girls and it's like, yeah, I want to hang out with something nice. You know, it's no more just playing basketball and stuff. Like, I want to have a girlfriend now, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you want to be a little more presentable, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you want to be, you can't be fresh to death if you don't got a nice haircut.
A
So,
hundred
so my
percent.
mother, you know what, mom? I don't want you to cut my hair no more. So for my 13th birthday, I want you to buy me an Andis clipper and this T outliner. And
Mm-hmm.
it was $30. So I told her, this is what I want for Christmas. So she gave me $30 cash. What I didn't know at 13 was there was taxes. So when I went, there was like, it's actually whatever, like $38 or whatever the hell and some change. So I went, collect some cans for a couple of days,
Mm-hmm.
got my money right, and I bought me an Andis T outliner. And I started shaping myself up.
Mm-hmm.
And I started shaping up my friends. And I was just helping them. And then I was kind of like, yo, let me charge them and see what they do. So I was charging $3, $5 for a shape up. When I started getting cash, right? And I'm living in the projects now.
Mm-hmm.
So you talking about this volume. That's
Mm-hmm.
when I was kind of like, oh, hold up. I'm on to something here.
Mm-hmm.
But it originally stemmed from me just genuinely wanting to give myself a haircut and not look all dusty.
Mm-hmm.
And now
Mm-hmm.
it's helped me build everything. It's been the gateway to everything that I have now.
Mm-hmm. Man, that's powerful. So let me ask you this. We're gonna switch the topic a little bit.
All
What's
right.
been the biggest thing that your daughter has taught you? What's been the biggest thing that your daughter taught you?
Oh, patience,
Ooh, okay.
patience, man. Um, patience in everything because is you know what? It's just patience and understanding
Mm-hmm.
because oh man, this is tough. There's so much that comes out of parenting,
Mm-hmm.
especially me growing up, not having my dad there to
Mm-hmm.
influence me to,
Mm-hmm.
to be the man, that I am today. So like my daughter was responsible for educating me on how to be a good dad because
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have a good dad figure at all
Mm-hmm.
in my life. So, yeah, my dad wasn't there, but you might have like an uncle or a cousin, and you're like, damn, he's such a fucking dope dad. Like, I didn't have that at all. So it was like a lot of trial and error. But at the end of the day, I'm talking about like now,
Mm-hmm.
9 years old now, it's just like patience and understanding. And I'm able to bring that over to business because man, I ain't have patience, brother.
Mm.
I have no patience. You gotta have patience. And it's a girl too, so it's like
Mm-hmm.
you gotta you got to be super patient with them with everything, like instructing them. And
Mm-hmm.
when it comes time to discipline them, you can't be all like extra aggressive. You got to
Mm-hmm.
chill. You got to let them talk. You got to sit down, hear them out. Like all the things that you like, I'm not used to, and you just want to jump right into things. But
Okay.
that's great. That's a great question, man.
I really appreciate this. So let me ask you this. It's gonna tie in with the question I just asked. At what age? So your daughter's 9 years old, right? What
Yeah,
age for yourself did you start to realize I need to start having patience? Like, because it ain't gonna be easy, but I need to start having patience. At what age did you realize that?
dude. I still tell myself I need to be patient.
Mm,
So I tell you what. I tell you what. No, I tell you what. Patience started kicking in. I'm gonna say maybe like about 2 years ago.
mm.
Like, you talking about, like, overall for business?
Well, yeah, for overall, yeah, yes, sir, yes, sir.
Oh, man. So, like, I've known for years. I really embraced it about
Mm-hmm,
2 years ago.
mm-hmm,
'Cause, especially from a business perspective,
mm-hmm,
because we're, as humans, we want everything right then and there.
mm-hmm.
What I learned in business is no different than the drug game, right? The faster it comes, what ends up happening?
The
They get
faster it
caught
go.
up.
Yep.
They get
Mm-hmm,
caught up. Same thing with business. That money come fast. You lose out on the experience of what it feels like to somewhat struggle. So you don't appreciate that.
mm-hmm,
And you end up flopping sometimes. Like, it's a statistic. So
mm-hmm,
like I had to tell myself, like, I gotta stop being so thirsty to get up here and appreciate what's happening in between, because that's what's gonna essentially prepare me when I get right here. But if I just go from here to up here, I'm missing out on so much knowledge and so much failure in between. Like, I'm gonna need that.
mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So like, yeah, I would say like about 2 years ago was when I was really like, you know what? It's okay. Like, just chill out, slow it down.
Take it day by day.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like we as people, I understand exactly where you're coming from. We as people think just because we got an idea, we supposed to be a millionaire by tomorrow. That's what when I started real estate, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna start real estate. I'm gonna be a millionaire by next month. Guess who won a millionaire?
Yeah. You know, in my industry right now, um, is incredibly lucrative.
Hmm.
There's over 50 million people in this country suffering from hair loss. So we have clients, potential clients. And I get a lot of them that come to me and they're like, yo, I've been doing this for 6 months and I still haven't done this. I've been
Hmm.
doing this for a year and I still haven't done this. How can I be as busy as you are? How can I? And I'm like, yo, I've been doing this for 4.5 years. You know how many times and you know how many times for a whole month I didn't have a client,
Mm-hmm.
or for 2 months, I didn't have a client. And that's
Mm-hmm.
the thing, a lot of people come into business. I mean, everyone comes into business for money, of course,
Mm-hmm.
but they come looking at the end game, and it's just like, oh, I'm gonna make 100,000. Oh, I'm gonna make 200,000. Oh, this dude made 500,000. I could definitely do it.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't have no business foundation skills.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have no business experience at all. They just think, "Oh, okay, I know how to do this now. Let's rock and roll." And now you got
Mm-hmm.
yourself all gassed up, and now you 2, 3 months in, you paying rent, you haven't done a client, and you're like, "Oh shit, like what do I do?" Now you get discouraged, and you're like, "Nah, I don't want to do this no more."
Mm-hmm. The niche that you found is incredible. Is incredible. How did you even come up with that?
So I didn't originate this technique. What
Mm-hmm.
happened for me was I was on active duty. I was in Wounded Warrior Battalion East down in Bethesda, and I used to cut the Marines' hair before they received their Purple Hearts.
Mm-hmm.
So a local barbering group, they had like this it was like a weekend long barbering conference with competitions and stuff like that. They reached out to me and it was like, yo, we having the fastest fade competition. And we know all you do is fades there. And we saw you. I came out on this website. It was called Barbershop Connect. It's a huge platform within the barbering industry. So when
Mm-hmm.
they did their little research, they saw I was in Maryland. So and I'm in uniform, I'm wearing my I'm in my utilities. Um, so they reached out and they wanted me to participate. So I go participate in the fastest fade. I win. I do a fade
Mm-hmm.
in like 5 minutes and like 38 seconds. And now I got my trophy. And I'm like, let me go look at the other vendors. And as I'm coming across, I see these two gentlemen there with someone like on a massage chair. And then I'm like, yo, they doing tattoos? Like, doesn't make any sense. Like, this is a hair show, like a hair and beauty show. Man, when I got within 5 feet of that booth and I saw what it was that they were doing,
Mm-hmm.
I knew it was gonna be revolutionary. I was like, "This is a game changer." Because
Mm-hmm.
having been a barber for so many years by then, I had so many clients that were like, "Hey, what can you do for my hairline? Can you fill
Mm-hmm.
this in? Can you do this?" So I had a whole bunch of little tricks that I would do, with like Beijing or Kiss and you know these dyes. So I was,
Mm-hmm.
if that's a tattoo, that means this is permanent. So they don't got to worry about coming to see me twice a week or hanging out with their girl and it starts raining and now the hair fibers all over their faces and now it turns into an embarrassment. So
Mm-hmm.
I started talking with them, telling them that I wanted to do some training. They didn't want to train me. It was like super duper secretive. So I
Mm-hmm.
ended up finding some dude. His name is Jeff Picasso,
Mm-hmm.
and I had him. He trained me, gave me my fundamentals, and then from there I just went forward and just kept doing my thing. Took a couple of masters classes in
Mm-hmm.
between, to sharpen, sharpen my skills, and then it just kept picking up and picking
Mm-hmm.
up, and then I was just meeting the right people and having the right conversations, and came
Mm-hmm.
out on a couple of publications and stuff, and then that was it, man. But I knew it was gonna be crazy. And we're not even there's no one that's put it on a platform where it's a household name yet.
Mm.
There's a lot of people that don't even know about what it is that I do, or the several other 100 artists that do this. They don't
Mm-hmm.
know that it exists, and when that does happen, it's gonna be game over. Like, the industry is just gonna be absolutely crazy.
The reason why I asked you that question, because we get ideas from our environment, right? I.e., failure is knowledge. I've always heard failure is success. Failure is a teacher. Failure is this, failure is that. But why hasn't nobody ever said failure is knowledge? When I start to realize that, I'm like, oh yeah, this gonna be big.
Yeah,
This gonna be big because it's not just a typical brand. It's a brand that empowers people, but just the name alone, failure is knowledge. What?
yeah. You were like, you jumped all over that, right? He was like, "I'm taking that."
I already got my trademark for it, my LLC. I got it, my logo. Yes, sir.
That's the way
Yes,
to
sir.
do it. Listen, you're
I
gonna
had to do it.
trademark that because you can leverage that. You can make a lot of money off the trademarking alone. I'm telling you right now, I have this right here, trademark.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredibly
Mm-hmm.
broad because you could do anything
Mm-hmm.
with scalp, and there's a solution for there's like 100 solutions for your scalp.
Mm-hmm.
You can't use that name. It belongs to me. You can pay me.
Mm-hmm.
You can pay me, or you can try to buy me out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Man, listen, this episode been incredible. We got like we've been on for like 40 minutes. I know you got to go around like 45, but listen, before we close out, before we end the live, is there any last closing words that you want to give?
And like what you want to like to the hustler? Like, how about you prompt me?
Okay, to a newly entrepreneur that's getting into entrepreneurship.
A new entrepreneur. Okay, so here's what's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
You need to read
Mm,
a lot. And what I mean by that is get some books that are gonna help you in whatever industry it is that you
mm-hmm.
are. And I know I said read a lot, but here's the thing. You could read all the books that you want and get all the information you want from YouTube and Google, but you have to have a plan. And
Mm,
in that plan, the first thing has to be to attack. Because you can read all the books in the world and have all the knowledge in the world. But if you're just gonna sit like a chump, like I was on the couch
mm-hmm.
and not do nothing, then you're just wasting time.
Mm,
So read and have a plan to like 6 months, get your knowledge up, and you're gonna go out there and you're gonna reach for the stars. And once you reach for the stars, you have to have an understanding that guess what? You might not grab one
mm-hmm.
because it's not easy. This shit, there's entrepreneurial, uh, you know, thing, that we in this I guess this like the flavor of the year. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, but they're not ready to do entrepreneurial shit. And part of
Mm-hmm.
that is struggle, to really in the struggle and really pursuing your dreams. So you got to get ready for that. Don't be scared of failure. You're gonna fail. Failure is good. You need that. That's experience. That's gonna turn you into an absolute animal. And once you get to the top, don't be scared to look down under and bring somebody up with you.
Mm,
Straight up.
mm.
It's only gonna it's only gonna bring you up to the top. I learned that, once you start empowering other people, you have absolutely no idea what these people know, who they have access to. So,
Mm-hmm.
once you get there, don't forget to look down and see one of your, whether it be one of your homies or a family member, bring them
Mm-hmm.
up with you because they might be an amazing resource to you.
Mm. Mm. That hey, listen, I felt that to my heart. Woo! I felt that one. So you want to go ahead and plug your social media tags, your information, just in case if somebody want to reach out to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, my name is David Santiago. I'm the CEO and founder of Scalp Solutions. We are a men's non-surgical hair loss restoration clinic. You can check me out on my website at www.scalpsolutionsny.com. That is also my social media handle, Scalp Solutions NY. That's on Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. You can check me out on YouTube under David Santiago. We got a YouTube series called The Boss of Hair Loss, where you get to see me doing my thing in my studio, saving lives, giving men the hairline back. And I also host the Scalp Solutions podcast, where I interview artists from all over the world, and that's available on all major platforms and also on YouTube.
Mm. Man, David, you know we locked in for life. I got your number now. Hey,
Yeah,
listen, we
no,
locked
we
in
good.
for
You
life.
you got direct access to me, man. We Marines, and I'm a firm believer in Marines. We take care of Marines,
Mm-hmm.
and like I said, I think what you're doing is great. You're going, I see you on top, brother.
Yes,
I see
sir.
you on
Yes,
top.
sir. I really appreciate that. But for everybody that tuned in, I really appreciate y'all for showing us love, for tuning in to episode number 14. And continue to strive for greatness. Continue to believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, can't nobody see your vision. You dig what I'm saying? David, hold on.